Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is Sunday, the 30th of April 2023, and today's video is the path to Islamic holiness. The reason I'm making this video once again is because we probably have to go with few videos like that to expose certain things, and I will be very careful of how I use my words so that the video can stay. Okay, until we hear from governments, either primarily the Egyptian government, because Yemen does not really have government, it has some gangsters running the country now, ISIS and so on and so forth. These people, you can't really consider these as people that you can deal with. And the reason here is, again, the disappearance of an Egyptian Egyptian person who ran away because he was persecuted in his own country because of what he says, to express his opinion about Islam. So he ran to work in Yemen when it was safe, and then he disappeared. I'm very sure the Egyptian authority knows where did he go, whether he is still alive or he been murdered. Now, and if he is murdered, you are responsible, because you are the one who are pushing these people to run out of their own country for safety, and sometimes on the path, whatever way they take, even if it's for economic freedom because they want to make money, and they take the boats to go to Europe, unsafe boats, and they drown on the way, the blood is on your hand. You push them to that point. Egypt is not a poor country, but it has poor leadership. Now, the path to holiness in Islam specifically. When you study all religions with the exception of Islam, probably they all unite on what holiness is and how a person should become a holy man or holy woman. And practically it's the same. I'm not propagating for any particular religion. However, I'm talking here about, let's say, a Buddhist person and a Jewish person. If one of these two religions or any other religion have become inspired to follow the path of this religion, his objective is to become a holy man or a holy woman, a saint in a way. And the characteristic of a saint is to live for others, is to live for the nation, for the people of that nation or the people of the world. And that's the definition of a saint. So their objective normally, if you talk about any saint from any religion, normally they live for the sake of others. Normally they sacrifice themselves for the sake of others. So it's like one step higher than being a patriot in a way, because a patriot, you live for the sake of your own nation only. However, a saint transcends the level of the nation, because all the saints that came before, normally they speak for the sake of humanity. They sacrifice for the sake of humanity. And therefore, that's a high objective. If you want to pursue that, you're welcome to do that. And normally, they are not seeking something for themselves. They are normally living for the sake of others. And that's a very high and noble way to live. And that's for all religions except Islam. And I'm going to put in the description box, if you read the book that Muhammad wrote 1400 years ago and says this is the book of Islam, the Quran. The book is full of strange passages, but I chose only two. Okay, I'm going to read them, but I would also put them in the description box. It's actually better to give you my own translation because, and even if there are few translations, read them all because you can actually get the feeling of what, because the translators, in a way, they are ashamed because they cannot put it as blank and as plain as it is in the original language. This is from chapter 9, verse 5. Then, when the sacred months, the people of Arabia, they had 4 sacred months, and in these 4 sacred months, they agreed that they never fight. Okay, so when the founder of Islam came, in the beginning he had some respect to these months. After that, good luck. So he is speaking about these 4 months. Once they pass, now you are free to kill again. Okay, kill the polyists, wherever you find them, and capture them and besiege them and lie in wait for, like, in a way, ambush them. Here is using a soft word, but actually let me read it from Arabic and go straight to give my own translation. Okay, ambush them anywhere you know they go. Go and wait and ambush them, catch them. And if they, let's say if they are Jewish or Christian or Buddhist or non-believer, and they don't believe in anything, no, they have to accept the founder of Islam. They have to accept that he is from God. And if they accept him and repent for not accepting him before, they have to show repentful heart and feeling and accept the founder of this ideology. And after they repent and accept him and repent, then they have to do the prayer the same like he does his prayer, not any other way. And they have to pay money, jizya. But for them, it's not called jizya because they accepted him. Only the Jews and the Christian who don't accept him is called jizya. But for the Muslim who accept him, they have to pay tribute. They have to pay money anyway. Okay? And that's not really, some people say this is the tithing in Islam. No. I never heard of any religious leader who forced his followers to give tithing. I mean, I live here in America, in the United States. I know many people, they tell you, oh, I'm Christian, or I belong to this church or that church, but they don't give tithing. They don't. And I never heard any of the Christian ministers came after them to force them to pay tributes or to pay tithing. There are many Jewish people in America, and some of them actually very secular. They don't care about religion, even the Jewish religion. They're not really interested in religion. That's their business. I never heard of a Jewish rabbi that came from the synagogue and forced them to pay the tithing. The tithing, this has come from the heart. But in that case here, it's by force. So practically it's jizya on the Muslim. There's jizya on the Christian and Jews, and it says it's jizya clearly. Huh? It's punishment. For Muslim, they call it zakat, but it's forced. Well, now Muslim actually they learn from the Jews and the Christian. Hardly any Muslim gives that zakat anymore. Okay, only the dedicated Muslims. So once they pay this money, leave them alone, and God will forgive them one day. Very generous. Okay, that's one. Let's see, the other one is Quran also, and this is 8, chapter 8, verse 12. Let me see their translation. It might be good here. This one. Okay, let's see. Remember, when your Lord inspired the angels, Allah somehow motivated the angels. I am with you, to tell the believers who are fighting, I am with you. They are fighting the infidels, the non-believers. So he's strengthening them artistically, inside, mentally. I am with you. So strengthen those who have believed. I will cast terror into the hearts of those who disbelieved. Terror. Terrorism and terror. Allah is the first. Okay? So, strike them. And the word here, strike them, is not like slap them or punch them or... No. With the sword, strike them. Strike their necks. Okay? Well, if I strike you with a sword on your neck, it's not to tickle you, to laugh. No, it's to chop your head off. Strike their necks, and strike their fingertips. Chop their fingers off. I'll put you that in the description box. So here we can see clearly that the path to holiness or to sainthood or whatever you want to call it, to become a good person in all faiths and all religion, it differs. Even if you don't believe in this particular religion, it's still it kind of like tries to inspire people to do good, to live for the sake of others, to help others, accept what came to us from this founder 1400 years ago. I'm really angry because in Egypt and in many other Muslim countries, there are many people who I get private messages and emails telling me I left this nonsense, but I can't speak. I'm afraid, and rightfully so. I mean, who wants to die by a sword, to have his head chopped off? Who wants to be unsafe in his home? Who wants to see his wife raped in front of him? None. So these people are afraid. And the government of Egypt and of all Muslim countries know very well that their people are sick of this stuff. But they work together. They work together with the religious leaders. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. Okay? Keep the people... Because actually, in that ideology, you are not permitted to think. Because if you think and use your head, you will say this is nonsense. And that will be dangerous, because then you will stand against the establishment, the authority. So all these people who left this nonsense, if they became atheists or became Christian or became non-believers or whatever, or became Jews, became Hindu, Buddhist, are not allowed to practice what they feel, what they have in their heads, but they can't say. So my calling here is specifically for the Egyptian authority, the Egyptian government. You pushed people to run away from the country. You pushed people to profess that they believe in this nonsense because they are afraid. You made hypocrites of these people, saying something that they are not. They have to pretend that they are going to the mosque to pray so that no one will accuse them that they stopped believing in this nonsense. You forced people to leave the country and go to other countries like Said al-Idrisi. And will not stop talking until we hear, because I'm very sure the Egyptian government, he was Egyptian living in Yemen. You forced him to flee the country, which he did, but he went to Yemen when it was safe, and he couldn't leave. He couldn't go back home because he will be killed. Now probably he's killed in Yemen with the knowledge of the Egyptian authority, and probably the Egyptian authority gave the green light to the terrorist in Yemen to kill him. We don't know if he's killed, but I suspect 100%, 99% he has been murdered by these gangsters that you use. So his blood is on your hand. His blood is on your hands. Even the terrorists in Yemen are the ones who killed him. Yes, his blood on their hands too, but you pushed him to that point. And there are many others who even want to leave the country, and you don't permit them because they insulted Allah or His Messenger or the book. Enough of this nonsense. Enough. Thank you very much. We hope to hear from you. And let me know also if you want to hear more about the holiness in this book. Thank you.